Welcome, Joe of Sound City, to Homes Where the Dark Is. Man, I've gotten to know you over the years, and it's so rad that you're still here helping us out at Sound City. And you've been so loyal and just really caring and supportive of everyone here. So thank you for coming by and having a conversation.
Thank you, Alex. It's my pleasure to help everybody here. That's part of my work.
Yeah.
Make sure that all our tenants here, they're properly cared and keep running this place running.
Tell us how you ended up here, because I've never asked you that.
Well, Matt Chamblers, before Matt Chamblers, there was another band that they wanted to rent the room right next to Eric's.
Matt Chamberlain?
Matt Chamberlain.
Okay.
Yeah. So before that was, I think Ben, the guy from Def Cap for Cutie. He actually remodeled that room, and I did the work with the architect. So we built what Matt Chamberlain is using now, the whole thing. And then between doing that work, I got pretty cool with Sandy and Mr. Tom.
Yeah.
And, they asked me if I can do some work, and here I am ever since.
How long ago was that?
Shoot, that's about probably, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 years.
Okay, so probably around, you were probably here a couple of years before I got here, because I've been here about 10 years now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, before you got here. Yeah, I've been here
Wow.
for a while.
Yeah. So so you did that work, you did the build out downstairs in Matt's room. So he basically, when that guy moved out, he just moved into an already nice built out studio.
Yeah, the
pretty
place
much.
was already set,
Yeah.
man. Now, everything that we did there was custom made. And I don't know if you ever been inside there.
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, it's really, really, it's a really cool place. It's huge, and it's wide open, high ceilings, and
Yeah, I've seen photos of it. Haven't been in there though. I've run into Matt here and there. We're friendly when we see each other. I don't see him that much because he comes. And
he
goes.
travels a lot.
Yeah, he comes and goes. But yeah, it's cool. Have you talked to him lately, or have you seen him lately, or what?
I saw him. I think last month he was getting ready to go on a tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked for a while, and that was it. Yeah.
Tell us some of the crazier times that you've experienced here at Sound City.
What do you mean?
Like anything. I mean, I know during that time I think this was around my earlier years here, because I know there was a lot of crap that went down over there.
Oh yeah, that was QB.
Oh, okay.
Before James is probably here for only since last year. But before him, it was QB. QB was another website for music, like an entertainment place. So they have all that area all the way to the green room, to the stage, and all those rooms. They have a big space.
Yeah.
But then they were going into troubles, and then other people tried to take it over, and I guess they couldn't make any work, so they finally end up leaving. And
Yeah.
that place was empty for a while.
So what have you? I know it's this area has gotten crazier and crazier.
It's
over
been
time.
like that for a long time. When
Yeah.
I barely started working for Sandy and Mr. Tom, man, we used to have a lot of people that live in these places around here. They used to come and party up there. The
Yeah.
whole place was full of graffiti. Yeah. And so little by little, we start, telling people, please not to park here. This is not it's private property.
Yeah.
And so little by little, they start going until they took a few years till they were gone. Now, thank God, we rarely had graffiti up there. And every now and then we'd see trespassers, but
Yeah.
other than that, it's been cool,
Yeah, I've seen some shady shit up there. One time I saw there was just some homeless person passed out with just a needle just on the floor, just completely zonked out.
I actually took up a needle close to you where you park your car last week.
Oh wow, not
Yeah, I go up there at night times, especially now that the gate's not working. So I go there night times. My last run is at 9 o'clock. Plus, security people, they're pretty good. They've been coming a little bit more, and what they do, they actually stayed up on the second floor.
Oh,
So that
there you
helps. So, yeah, they've been pretty good on that.
Wow. I was this is maybe a month or so ago, but I've seen like teenagers up there in their cars, like having sex and shit,
Oh, yeah.
and just doing
That-
all kinds of.
Believe me, you'll
like,
be.
It's like, oh, the good old days. Remember those days? I never had sex in cars.
Sure,
in the middle of the day. In the middle of the day, in a public area.
In a public area.
Yeah, it wasn't that stupid, but yeah, I've seen some crazy shit up there.
Oh,
It's like
I
out
tell
of
you, it
control.
was worse before. Now it's a little bit better. It's better, completely better. I would say, I don't know, 80% better than it was before. That we have more people.
Well, like what else have you seen? Like what crazy shit have you seen up there, or just in the area or in the complex in general?
Like I said, just people doing drugs. I caught one about 2 months ago having sex on his truck. I actually caught him an act.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I caught him, he was like pulling up his pants when he saw me.
It's like I don't understand why are people drawn to this complex for that? It's weird.
They just they don't want to spend money for the motels. Motels.
No, but I mean, like, there's so many. Like, why would you? I don't know. I just don't. I guess it's because it's kind of an open parking lot, and I guess now that the gates is open during the day,
But
but
that happens during the day.
Yeah,
that happens at
exactly.
business hours.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I go at least twice, 2-3 times. Nighttime is a little bit more sketchy, so I go every now and then. I don't have a gun, so I don't want to be exposed myself. A lot of these, we have people that have gone crazy. Like I had a situation last year. This guy parked up there. He had a really nice Jeep with his girlfriend. I guess she pregnant her girlfriend, and they were going into that situation. And I asked him to please leave, and the guy got all crazy with me and like, dude, what's your problem? You're not supposed to be here. And the young girl she was nice. She was telling me, please don't do anything, don't call the cops. And the guy, he was provoking. And he said, I'm going to have a baby. I said, well, you should talk to him. What do you have this guy as your boyfriend that got you pregnant, and he brought you to this parking lot? Didn't have parks here. We have a lot of parks. We have the forest.
Oh my God.
You could have gone to better places.
Jesus.
And yet, these are the losers that you're dealing with.
Wow. Yeah. But I don't know. This area is crazy. But you're right. I mean, I guess it's just because the longer I've been here, the more I've seen. But I guess you're right. It's always been a insane area around here with like gangs and fucking.
Oh yeah,
all
there's
these,
crazy
all these,
homeless.
You know what? The other night, this was like maybe a week ago. I was driving home, and you know where there's like a what's that place called? But it's where they help inmates. There's that.
Oh yeah, that one. I know. Rehab.
Yeah, it's a rehab, I think. Rehab. But whenever I drive by there, I always see like groups of them. You know what I mean? And there was the other night when I don't know if it was someone that was there or like trying to get in or breaking out, but like it was the whole street was. It was happening like as I drove down, so like they were about to block off and like barricade the whole street because like someone was going nuts, like in the middle of the street, just freaking out. And I think he had some kind of weapon on him. I couldn't tell what it was, but I drove by like at the worst possible time. Like probably would have started like swinging at my car, like tried to, I don't know, but it was gnarly. But yeah, there's all kinds of
I've seen it, and I 2 days ago I saw a homeless. I was feeding the Sound City cats, and I got the storage open. And I saw this homeless, kind of older, and he was approaching, and I asked him to please leave. And he left. He didn't say anything. He didn't hesitate. Yeah. And he just left. But sometimes at nighttime, we got people come and invade our trash cans, which is okay. I don't mind. They just collect and recycle so they can make money. Already these people do that. They go try to rob somebody so they can get money to do their drugs.
Right. Yeah.
But there's still homeless everywhere.
Yeah.
Wherever you go right now in LA, it's amazing the amount of homeless. I live in Highland Park for a while, and by the time I left Highland Park, it wasn't. We have homeless every now and then, but we didn't have it like they have right now.
Yeah.
They invade everything. They defecate anywhere, and unfortunately, is the worst disease the humans have in this time of year that we have right now. It's a drug addicts.
Oh yeah.
It's a disease. It's not it's worse than COVID or any other. A lot of young guys you can see in it all they start with a party and trying to imitate what their friends doing, and not enough parenting.
Yeah, it's scary. You're right. I mean, everywhere, pretty much everywhere, every town that every city, every part of LA that I've gone through in the past 10 years for sure is just like, it's gotten worse and worse. And I mean, I live in Studio City now, but I actually lived in Studio City about 12 years ago in a very similar area. Then I moved. Then I ended up back in Studio City. But I remember back then it wasn't as bad. Mm-mm. But now, you're right, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
There used to be this like homeless encampment that took over this whole... There's this parking lot on the side of the 101 going into Hollywood in Studio City. You could see it off the freeway, but it was just a parking lot for Universal Studios or something that they used to use, but all the homeless people took it over. It was just like tents and RVs and trailers.
Kinds of
it was it was the whole parking lot was infested, and then finally it was there for a few years, and then finally they all left and they got them out of there. But yeah, they're still everywhere, and it's really sad. I feel bad for most of these people because it's like it's the mental illness, man. It's just like
it is, and it's as a father, you know, I was a single father. I raised my 2 kids. Till now, I still help them, and it's tough, but you need to get it done because other than that, your kid ends up as a homeless. You know, you gotta. I mean, your limit is taking up, you know, whatever problems your son's going, even alcohol or drugs. It's really tough for anybody, and unfortunately, a lot of people give up on their son, nephew, whatever, and that's when they end up being.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, there was a couple of young kids. I think they were, I don't know, probably like 11, 12. They used to come up to the parking lot here. I kicked them out a few times. And the reason I know that they were up there, they bring the tank of helium so they can inhale.
Oh, wow.
And have a bottle of booze, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I kicked them off a few times, and I told them, why don't you guys, you know, try to do something about it? I mean, this is not fun. But at the end, it's the parents' responsibility to make sure where your kid is, you know, what he does for school, go to school with them. You know, you got to put a lot of your time to do that.
Yeah, and it's you know, you never know what's going on in these people's lives and these kids, like these people wandering the streets. Just, you know, I feel bad for a lot of the younger kids because like they don't have anywhere to go. Maybe they're being abused at home. You know, their parents don't care. It's fucking.
They just. Yeah, it's tough, man. A lot of parents, they just focus on work and they forget about the kids. They leave the kids like they're going by themselves, and you don't know what they're doing.
Right, or work, or you know, a lot of parents, they have issues of their own, and they're not able to take care of themselves or anyone else. So it's really sad. But
yeah, it is. It's tough, and all I can do now is helping as much as I can. You know, when I see homeless, I see young kids. If I have any money, I give them $5, $10, and like I said, the reason I do that is for them not to go and try to rob somebody, hurt somebody for $2 or $3. Right. I witnessed a man from Guatemala getting killed for $160.
Wow!
Like about 20 years ago, I was visiting my cousin. He lives tough area over by Olympic and Bonnie Bray, like a really, really tough neighborhood. Yeah, this poor guy had a truck. He was making money so he can go back and buy a property in Guatemala, grow some coffee beans.
Yeah.
And this African-American guy came with a gun, with a 25 to rob him, and he didn't start giving him the money. He tried to fight, and he shot him on the head, and that was it.
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I saw that. And ever since, it's not being immediate scare, it's to prevent for somebody to get killed. Yeah. You know, for $5 or $100. I mean, there's no price for the life of a human being, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel bad, you know, for them. So whatever I can, I help them.
Stuff
like that. Yeah. So I get after food. I say, I don't have any money, but I got water. Mm-hmm. I got food. You want some food? I can give you food, you know.
Stuff
like that.
Absolutely. And it was the other day I was at Starbucks, and I saw this, there was this blind woman with, she had like her cane or whatever, just like feeling around, walking. She was trying to just walk out the door at Starbucks, and there's just like all these people around her, like ignoring her. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit. I just walked up and be like, here you go, open the door. I'm like, here you go, you can. Yeah. She's like, oh, and it just blows my mind just how how selfish a lot of people are. They're just like, they're in their own zone. They're not paying attention to what's
Yeah.
around them. They're looking at their phone while they're driving, while they're like walking everywhere. It's
Anything
like
they do is
they're
all
just
related to
they're
their
like
phone.
this, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what? No one's fucking paying attention. It's just, it's crazy. But
Be a little bit more
mentality.
compassion.
Yeah,
Because you can
yeah,
lose
yeah.
that in the city. You can lose that here in the city.
Yeah,
It's just like you were saying, people that are more focused on nonsense, just watching stupid videos and watching other stuff without being see what's life is going about. Is what's life is bringing in at this time of the year, and what we can do to help our community to be better.
Yeah, or just living in reality and paying attention and being present and paying attention to what's right in front of you instead of some
Look around.
stupid
It's
video
always something
on
cool.
your
It's
phone.
always something that you can do. That you can help. You can help your life. It makes you feel good as a human. And that's one of the things that I spend most of my time in the forest.
Can you tell us a little about I'm just curious about where you grew up and what your childhood was like, and can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I grew up in Yucatan, Mexico. My grandfather used to have a grocery store. My dad was a PE teacher for a junior high, and he was a butcher.
Wow.
So I get up at 3:00 every morning to go help my dad at the market, help him clean up the meat. 7:00 go home, take a shower. 8:00 go to school. Get off of school, go home, eat, take a break. But 3:00, my grandfather opened the store. We got to go help there. Yeah, the store. Believe it or not, he opened the store at 4:00 in the morning. That's back then. The campesinos used to work that early, especially in Yucatan. They work early because they can only work to 12:00 because the heat there was really intense. So since they work on the fields, it was easy for them to work from 3:00. Let's say they start at 5:00 in the morning, all the way to 12. They make the time that they needed to finish. And they usually close. My grandfather closed the store at 12 for the siesta time, and they open up again at 3:00 p.m. So that's the time that we used to go there and help my grandfather. We gotta clean up the storage, or we gotta weigh some, make some little bags of salt or sugar, or stuff that you usually sell in the store.
Do you still like to practice like the siesta, like that, having that kind of a routine?
I was never part of it.
No? Okay.
Believe it or not, when I was a kid, I was just, I used to trap, so I used to go trap some birds, like really beautiful birds. And nighttime, I used to go hunt for rabbits. What do you call this? We have pheasants and quails. I love quails. They're really good eating. Same thing with rabbits.
So your dad was a butcher, like if you had to butcher something or prepare certain things, do you still remember?
I can cut
like
meat, steaks. Yeah, I love it. I grew up with that, but I didn't work with that. Believe me, when I moved here, my page turned completely the opposite way. I worked for when I came on vacation on spring break. My aunt went on vacation to Yucatan, and she invited me to come to Milwaukee, and I said, "Yeah, I'll go with you." So I got all my paperwork, got my ticket, and we flew. I was supposed to be here 1 month, and 43 years after, I'm still here.
Wow.
And I like it. And actually, when I was there, I worked for Wisconsin Railroad, building track. Or railroad track. That was
brutal.
My work. Yeah. I love it, man. I love it.
That sounds like taxing work.
Huh?
That sounds like intense work.
Yeah, but when you're young, man, I used to do a lot of exercise. And I was working at my grandfather's store. It was big. My grandfather's store was almost half a block one way and half a block the other way. So we got trucks bringing food almost every day. We got unloaded. Wow. Yeah, so you get used to that type of work. So when they asked me to do that, I said, I'll do it. It was fun. Wow. Especially, except for the first one that I had to spike almost a mile, a track. You got people holding the crowbars, holding the tiles, and I was coming with jackhammer. And you just got to go, and you jump the rope. And wow. That evening, I remember when I started working, man, I couldn't put my hands down. I had none. I feel like something like going on in my arms. Damn. That was the tough. But after that, I got used to it. And here, we pretty much got all the machines that we need. Like we did some handwork, but most of them we used machines to trap the gravel under the level. We level the track, and then we got the machine with the traps like metal, and then it compress all the gravel underneath the tile, so when the railroad train comes, it doesn't sink.
Have you visited back home, or you've been here for the entire
Oh
time?
yeah, I went there
Okay.
twice to Yucatan. Yeah,
Okay.
it's changing a lot, so it doesn't feel like I want to move back there.
What's the main differences? And you say it's changed a lot.
A lot more humans.
Oh, okay.
It got populated, but people, because of the situation that it goes all over Mexico, Yucatan is one of a little bit safer place to live. So a lot of people move there, and we have a lot of migrants, like from El Salvador, Argentina, and other countries. They've been, living in Yucatan or Cancun, Quintana Roo, which we close. Yeah.
Where do you think the state of Los Angeles is going? Because of the way things have been governed, I'm just curious, like, what your thoughts are on how things have been run. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but to be honest, Los Angeles is always been attraction, not just to the people from out of town, out of world, but the whole United States.
Yeah.
This California is one of the best states that you can make more money than any other states, and you can be a construction laborer. You make more money than anybody working in, let's say, in the South, or in Texas, or in New Orleans, or Florida. Mm-hmm. People don't make the same money they will make here. And you see a lot of people coming from there. Unfortunately, a lot of those people, most of the homeless that we got right now, they're people from out of state. Yeah. We do have a handful of Angelinos, but unfortunately, a lot of those people, I tell you because I talk to a lot of the homeless, and they're either from South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, most of the southern states. Mm-hmm. And Oregon, Colorado, Boston, Chicago, we got people from all over the world. And some, unfortunately, they get caught in drugs, and here we are helping them, Yeah. And when I'm here, most of the time I stay here in Van Nuys at the studio. I don't go out like I used to anymore.
No more partying?
No more parties. I'm done with that, It's not that I'm old and I don't feel it. I stopped drinking about 15 years ago. And because I got tired, I said, I can have fun without drinking.
Like completely? Like you've been sober? Oh, wow.
Yeah, completely. I just stopped drinking. I didn't thought alcohol was doing me any good. And I actually feel better. Like the next day, you're good. You go to work, get up early, you're fresh. Mm-hmm. And since I've been going more to the mountains, like I only come here to work. When work is done, I disappear for a month or two. And so life in the forest has been changing my life a lot. Like more peaceful, more relaxed, grateful to have the work, grateful to have Sandy to help me, giving me work. And all the people that I work here,
Yeah, I'm sure it's gives you a lot of time to reflect and to like be appreciative of just life in general, because it's so, when you're in the city, we get so distracted with work and there's so much going on, but when you're in nature for that long of a period of time, you can actually take the time to relax and think about your past, think about yourself, reflect, and then come to a appreciation
of everything, life, what we could get here in the city. Los Angeles is beautiful. It's a metropolis. It's huge, man. And if you learn how to live here and stop whining and complaining, I pay a lot of taxes, it's part of your life. Wherever you go, you're still going to pay. Here, I pay a lot of taxes. I don't care. But, we have a good life here, I love California. I don't think I'm ever going to move, to another state. Yeah, I'm probably going to move to the Eastern Sierras, which are my favorites.
When you say you go to Florida where there's no state tax, or you go to Vegas or Nashville or wherever, it's like, it's just, there's a trade-offs, you know what I mean? Because then you have fucking crazy hurricanes in Florida or whatever, and then there's always trade-offs, you know what I mean? So I think you're right, it's easy to complain about the taxes here, but we do have all the opportunity in the world.
Yes, you do. It's up to you. It's up to each individual to, like you create this by yourself. You work hard for it, right? You have it. And life has been treating you good. You be humble. You be a good common sense person, and you can do anything you want.
Absolutely.
And you can take it as far as you want. We're the only ones who have the mind to do what we want in this life. For example, with self, instead of whining and nagging, do better. Maybe you're doing something wrong, and I do that to myself. I put myself in check sometimes. When I do some stupid things, I check myself. I call up on my own self.
Yeah, I find that too. With age, you realize how much of a fucking idiot you were when you were younger,
Yeah.
and then you come to take accountability. Like that's one of the biggest things I've noticed with when I found in people that I really respect and admire, and that I've been friends with for a long time. They understand how to take accountability for their own actions, and they admit their own fuck ups, and they they don't walk around the world. I've never done it. I've never done anything wrong. Like
Yeah, a lot of people
everything
does
I've
that.
done is amazing. It's like,
If you don't make mistakes, you're never gonna learn.
Yeah.
We humans, we make mistakes, but the best part is when you learn how to take responsibility and then act,
Right.
and then fix it. That makes you a better person.
Totally.
I mean, that's what
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and I see when people get very offended, or they'll push someone away who maybe calls them out on some of their shit. But I've learned that if you have people like that in your life, and you really take the time to listen to what they're saying, and maybe be like, you know what, you're right. Like I fucked that up, or you're right. I could be doing better, and just being grateful for that. Yeah.
What I think is, after I left with my aunt, I moved here with my ex-wife, and I don't have anybody. All my family is in Mexico. My only brother lives in Worcester, Massachusetts, and I have cousins and aunts in Milwaukee, and that's about it. Here, I think I have about 2 cousins here, but that's about it.
Your kids, right?
Yeah, my sons. Yeah, my sons. But family. Like you got your grandpa, your grandma. I don't have that. So you learn how to live with that. I miss them. I talk to them all the time, and I just keep going with my life. One of the things that I learned: don't blame anybody for your mistakes,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and you can do better that way. Learn from your mistakes. It's always good to get if you're doing something wrong, like my son, even at my photography, I'm on what do you call this? When I go to the forest, I like to take pictures, amateur, aficionado pictures. He actually teach me. I learn a lot of stuff from my son, even not just that, but life. So it's always good. You can learn from your kids because they can be smarter than you as an adult.
Well, you hope for that, right?
Yeah.
Because I think it's kind of selfish when parents they want to, bring their kids down. You know what I mean? Like I can't
That's the
understand
worst.
that. Like
It's the worst.
If I ever have kids, like I want them to be better and smarter and have a better life than me. Like just because I can imagine, like because you love them so much. You know what I mean? I can't understand that mentality when parents, they want to drag their kids down. That's just heartbreaking.
One thing you gotta learn as a parent, you got to talk to your kids all the time. You have to sit down. You have to talk to them. Ask them what they don't like about living with you. There's nothing wrong with that, man.
Yeah.
On the contrary, you learn how to treat your kid better. And like I told you, I was a single dad. My kid was 3 years old, my younger son. My older was 10. And I raised him, as soon as I got my kids, I quit everything and I just focused on my sons. What I did, museums, baseball, football, movies, go to the arcade, play with them, go to the mountains, go fishing. Those were my activities. And still, my older son got a little bit off the road, but thank God, he was able to fix himself, and now, he's finishing his college.
Their mom wasn't around to help, or?
No, we got divorced and I got full custody of the kids.
Okay.
And I didn't want to be part of their life, because when she had the kids, she wasn't really focused on their raising it properly. School, sports. I used to go to the library with them. Every day I pick them up from school. I ask them, you have any homework? You need to go to the library? Yeah, we go straight to the library. We go home. While they were refreshing and getting ready for practice, I cook, they eat, go to baseball practice or football practice, or we go on a hike, we go biking. So that was my life.
So how were you able to raise them and make a living at the same time? I'm sure you had to make a lot of sacrifices.
Well, yeah, I did, because I had a few opportunities. Back then, I even worked at an art department for commercials. My neighbor, he was in charge of the group, and I work with him every now and then, but I couldn't work full time because I have to take care of my kids.
Yeah.
Which I didn't regret it a minute, you know.
The fact that you put your career aside to raise them and to be there for them, like that says a lot about your character. Because I've known so many people that, yeah, they have a kid or they have kids, but they're more focused on
Their
themselves,
yeah,
than making sure their kids are okay, and they're neglecting them, and that's when shit goes wrong for them. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's the problem. And a lot of parents, I 1 year I coached Little League. The last year that my son, I didn't want to do it because some of the parents, they just go drop the kids and then come back. So the coach gets in, the coach has to wait like an hour after because the parent not there.
Yeah.
And they asked me if I can coach, and I didn't want to coach. I even told the guy that he was in charge of the league, I told him the reason. And I said, well, that's not going to happen if you're coaching. Okay, I want to have a meeting with the parents, and we go from there. If they want to do it, I'll do it. If not, then I'm out. Yeah. So I had a meeting, and I told the parents straight up. I said, you pay in this league to have your kid play baseball, to teach him how to be baseball, discipline, and the rest is up to you. I'm not a babysitter. You're not bringing here to coach because you don't have time to take care of it, and you got to do other things. When practice over, I would like to see the parents here. I got to go to work. I told them, I'm a single parent, and I'm involved with my kids. I spend about 2-3 hours here. I tell them I give up some other work so my kids have a better education. I can spend time with my kids and see what's going on in their life. That's the best way for you to find out a lot of things. And teach your kids when you let them go out to call you if I'm going to be late or if you're going to be something. It's not that you're checking on them, but you're teaching a responsibility. Yeah. They're the kids that are still under your responsibility, and you get along pretty good. I did that with my kids. I never told my kids no. I always tell them, Papa, I'm going to go with my friend. Okay, what time are you coming? This time, if you want to stay a little late, give me a call. Or if you're going to do this, call me. And they always did. Even my son, when he was older, he was in high school. His friends tease him sometimes, but all of his friends know me. What do you call your father and tell him you love him? Because I love him and because, you know, I want to make sure they tell him where I'm at, that I'm safe. Wow. So that's how I pretty much raised. And until today, you know, we still do a lot of stuff together. You know, we still go hiking. We still go to the movies. We still go to the caves every now and then.
Is that how your dad was with you?
Not really.
No?
No, my dad was pretty busy all day. He worked on the market since 4 o'clock in the morning, all the way till he finished like around 12. After that, he has to go to school. And when he wasn't at school, he was helping my grandfather at the grocery store because it's a family-run business.
What about your mother? Was she around?
My mom, she was around, but she was busy. She used to make clothes for people. Like if you want to make a new pair of pants or more for ladies, you know, like a new dress, she'll make those for you.
So were you little? Well, you were working with your dad and everything, but you had a bit more independence when you were younger.
I signed him to play baseball by myself. As a matter of fact, one time I was taking some English classes in Yucatan, and I actually brought my little brother to sign him in to go to learn English with me. And the teacher asked, "Where's your parents?" "We're home." "And what are you doing this?" "Well, it's my brother. I love him. I'm wanting to learn English."
Where do you think you get that quality? Do you think that you got that from your parents? Or?
From my parents, yeah. My dad. My dad is a really humble, hardworking individual, and he's always helping people. He's always helping.
Isn't it fascinating how who we become as people is like, I would say, at least 75-80% up to who our parents were and how they act in the world and how much they loved or didn't love you. You know what I mean? Isn't that crazy? Like,
yeah, you better yourself, you know, at what you're learning in life. And that's what I do with myself. I learn every day. You know, your life is, if you open your mind, you can learn more better than you have a closed mind. Or have somebody else think what somebody else is thinking for you. So you're not yourself.
I don't know how involved you are or how much you follow any of the like modern, not politics, but like just the lifestyles and like the new, what's the term? Like wokeism, all that stuff, like all this new crazy batshit shit that's going on. I try
not to pay attention. Yeah. Again, it's kind of annoying listening to the same thing that it doesn't make any sense all the time. if I hear these guys make some good comments, and not just good comments, but something that it makes sense, I will listen, But all they talk is the same thing, and they try to change it, put a little bit of different in that, but they always talk, at the end, they're always talking to the same thing. Try to live my life as normal as possible. I don't want to waste my time listening to nonsense. I already read something positive.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today will be another day, and I just try to live my life as a normal, like I would live it in any other country, and I don't blame anybody for my own faults. If I make a mistake, it's my responsibility to fix it. I don't wait for somebody else to tell me, oh, because of this or that. And no, it's my fault. Mm-hmm. And this country give you the opportunity for you to fix that. If you don't fix it and you be a nagger for anything that somebody else does, then you have a problem.
Yeah, also like the people that, they have the victim mentality. Like,
yeah.
Well, this person hurt me, so I'm stuck and I can't move on, or this person did this to me. It's like, well, welcome to life, Yeah. People are going to hurt you. People are going to abuse you. People are going to fucking, you're going to get everything thrown at you. So you have to just keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just keep on going. That's all you got to do. Just better yourself.
Yeah.
And help others if you can.
So this is like the theme question of the podcast. What can you tell us a little bit about what was the darkest point in your career, and what did you do to overcome it?
Well, the only I haven't experienced a few times is not having work, when work is slowed down, and I was raising my kids.
Yeah.
Those are the times that it got to me, but I would always find a solution. I was blessed by always being connected to good people that helped them and help me, They help me and I help them, and I don't wait, like they give me work and I do my best to do everything, what they want, and my work talks for me.
I think everyone could relate to that, because we all, most people go through tough times where, not doing well financially, or work is falling through, or you get fired, or you have just nothing going on, and it's scary, especially when like you have kids.
Yeah, when it happens, it was tough for me, but at the same time, I can't show that to my kids. I have to be strong. I have to show them the opposite. You have to be optimistic, even though inside you don't feel that way, but you have to show them. You can pressure your kids for you as a parent need to do to help them.
Yeah.
Because they're raising, and the last thing you want to do is add pressure into their life.
Exactly. I think that's a great point, especially like, with children, with your kids. And also I feel like that's a good thing to practice with your spouse as well. Like if you're in a relationship or if you're married, because like the second you show show them that something's wrong, or we're in trouble, that's when, maybe they'll start getting scared, or they'll be stressed.
Yeah, you're affecting their life in school, because they have to, when they go to school, they have to go with a clear mind.
Yeah.
So they can focus on school and be a kid. And if you don't do that, you put pressure by talking to them about your problems all the time. Oh, I don't have money to pay the rent. I don't have money to buy food. I don't have money to buy this. This gets into the kid's life.
Yeah. We have to have that's why I think, if you have a therapist, that's great. Or if you have someone else, like a friend to confide in, because we're expected just shut up and do the work and make it happen. And because if you talk about the struggle, then it stresses the kid out, or it stresses your partner out, and then they see you differently. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes we're kind of just stuck in our own turmoil, and then we have to if you have a close friend or you have a therapist, you can vent that stuff. But it's difficult.
It is tough, but one of the things that when you marry, I think it's both sides' responsibility. I think is equal is for the lady, for the man, responsibility that taking care of the kids, and so both of us have to put a part. So when I had problems with that, when I was thank God, when I was with my ex-wife, I always had work, but then when I got custody, it was a few years that it slowed down a lot, and so I was struggling a little bit, but I didn't talk that to my kids. I usually talk to my dad or a good friend.
Smart.
Yeah. But your wife, she should be part of your support.
Agreed.
The part both of you need to talk and find a solution. You need to be part of the solution. That's one of the things that we got to learn, how to be part of the solution and not part of the problem.
Yeah, I agree with you. It should be equal, and you should communicate,
Yeah.
and you should both take care of each other. But I
Yeah,
find like a
it's
lot of the
gotta
time,
be equal, man. Well, I told you, I work hard. I mean, I was going to work in the morning. When I got custody of my kids, I was going to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. So thank God my ex-sister-in-law, she was an angel. She helped me with my kids a lot. And she had two sons about the same age, so they got along really good till today. And it was tough for my kids because I have to wake them up at 4 o'clock in the morning, drop it at my sister-in-law's house and go to work because I started at 6 o'clock.
Wow.
So I did that for 2-3 months. And then I decided to quit my job and work for myself so I can have time to take my kids to school in the morning at the time that they need to go and pick them up and then bring them home, go to practice, baseball practice, go do whatever I used to do.
Yeah.
And I did that till they were growing men. You know, get up early, fix them breakfast, eat good, take them to school. They pick them up after school, make sure they do their homework. And then you go to baseball practice, you go to football practice, whatever they want to do. Or we'll go hiking, we'll go fishing. Those were things that we did when I was raising my kids. They love fishing, they love hiking. And sometimes we take it to cruise. Okay, let's go cruise along PCH. There we go.
Nice. How old are your kids now?
My older is 41. He's just turned 41. And my younger is 38.
Do they have kids?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they don't want to have kids now.
All right. Did you want them to? Like, did you?
If they want, I never force anybody. You know, it's their life. You know, that's one of the things that I teach my kids to be independent.
You know, some people really want to be grandparents.
I mean, I will welcome them.
Yeah.
But I don't want to force my kids
Yeah.
to have, you know. My older son, he said, well, I want to finish my career. I slowed down for a bit when I was leaving my mom. I missed a lot of days at school and stuff. So he's going to graduate, make sure he have enough money because everything's so expensive.
Yeah.
So when he has his kids, he has a house, he has everything to provide for them.
Right.
Same thing with my younger son. He has a girlfriend, they're living together, but they're not planning to have kids soon. You know, they have plans to get their house and get their life together before they can have kids.
Yeah.
Which
smart.
is, I agree with them, you know. What bringing kids if you're not ready?
Yeah. And then there's a lot of people make the argument, well, like, well, you're never going to be ready. But I mean, well, maybe not, but it's never like the perfect time to have kids, but you can make it work. But yeah. I think it's smarter to wait, especially.
Until you're ready mentally too, because it's not just money, but mentally you're going to go in a situation that when you got that baby, it's all about him. You gotta change diapers in the middle of the night. You gotta prefix their milk. You gotta do all that work that your wife's doing because she's tired. So you gotta help her. Yep. You know, she's crying at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning when you're just sleeping really good and you gotta go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. You have to get up and do it. It's your son. Yep. You gotta get used to that because you're not ready to be a parent. Yeah. Parenting is about when you have kids. Your life is to provide. Whether you want to go to the bar and want to do other things, and it's important that you have to cut that part of your life and just focus on your kids. Because the best part when you're raising your kids is when they're younger, because they're going to imitate everything you do until they start having their own common sense. So all those years, you got to teach them.
Joe, man, thank you so much for
welcome,
coming
man.
by and having a chat. It's cool to
Thank you for inviting
It's cool
me.
to get to know a little bit more about you. And yeah, man, you're a good guy.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you for all your help around here, and I really appreciate
You're more than
you're just
welcome.
watching out for everybody, and we can all feel that you really care about Sound City, and yeah, it means a lot that you're here helping us.
That's what Sandy has me here.
Yeah.
On her eyes and make sure I do everything right for everybody. Make sure everybody's help. You know, sometimes it takes time, but you know, you can go as fast as you want, but you just got to cope and help, you know, be part of the solution. Cool, man.
Joe, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Alex. Adios.